and welcome to Sisi at Sea. I'm Sisi and this is my boat Victory. Welcome on board.
She's a CNC 37 Plus made in Canada in 1989.
On this YouTube channel you can follow my life as a boat human whenever I am sailing or doing boat projects. The dream is to be able to sail this boat solo and feel confident across all of the Scandinavian coastline. Okay, so I am in the middle of installing my Alpha display, or my two Alpha displays, these ones. These are the instruments that will show the depth, the speed of the boat, the wind speed and direction, and like communicate with everything that has to do with the performance of the boat. Yes, and so before I had these instruments mounted here, and unfortunately this plate is just a teeny tiny bit too small, so I needed to find another solution, and here it is. So I already cut a hole. This is teak, not teak all the way through, but the top layer is teak. Yes, I think it's gonna look pretty. And then I'm just going to sand the corners a little bit. Nice and beautiful. So this will be mounted here. Yes. So I can install the display. It's quite easy. Just fit it like this. This small fellow.
If you have been following my Instagram, you probably already know that I am sponsored by Raymarine. But if you don't, then I'm telling you now, this is a sponsorship and I'm very happy for it.
And then you can lock it with these ones. Just remember that it only needs to be finger tight. Just like that. I think it looks quite beautiful. Now, unfortunately, I think the hole that I made is not big enough. No, clearly it isn't.
To make the hole bigger, I used a fine cutter. And like all tools, you can buy this in different qualities. And in this case, I admit that I was on a budget and I just bought the cheapest one that I could find in the local hardware store. You can buy different kind of plates according to size and also materials. And here I am using the plate for wood and plastic.
So both Alpha displays has been installed now. Here it's screwed on, and underneath there is also Sikaflex to make it waterproof, to make sure that water cannot enter the boat. Okay, so I honestly don't know if I will regret later making this out of wood. I don't know if they will last or if they will rot somehow. Yeah, maybe I should have made them out of plastic, but anyway, this was what was available at the time, and like a lot of other things in my boat life, is just learning by doing, and sometimes I might end up having to redo something. Yeah, anyway. In this process of installing all of these Raymarine instruments, I of course had to drag a lot of cables. And the easiest way I find is if you already have a cable there, and then you can use that one to pull the new cable. I'm in the top of the mast and we are dragging through the wire that's going to the new wind instruments. Yeah, and now it's finally going. Okay. I then needed to mount this one in top of the mast. And I don't have a lot of footage of this because I admit that that was a very hard procedure and there was absolutely no energy for filming. I also don't recommend you to try to install this instrument while the mast is mounted. There is a fitting for this one that you need to screw onto the top of the mast, and for obvious reasons it's a lot easier to do this when the mast is not mounted. But if you don't feel like you have the choice, then I can hereby tell you that it is possible to do when the mast is on. Okay, so we finally managed to mount this one. For the Alpha display to actually work, they need two things. They need power supply and they need data. And data they get from the Raynet system. This is a Raynet cable. And the Raynet cables, they communicate data that is sent in numbers and in graphic. Okay, so welcome to the back cabin. And in here I have a lot of the Raymarine equipment. So the Alpha displays, they are mounted up there in the cockpit. And the cable from the Alpha display comes down here. And in here I have the switch. And the switch is where all of the Raynet cables are connected and communicating with each other. Over here I have a power supply. So the Alphas are also getting their power supply from here. So when the switch is turned on, it has its own power supply. It's this one. And here you can see which instruments are in use, or if there is any connection to that instrument. So for example, right now you can see that there is no light in number one. That's because number one is the radar and the radar isn't turned on just now. Otherwise, I have the radar, the chart plotter in the saloon, Alpha, chart plotter in the cockpit, Alpha. When I needed to change the transducer, I did that at a time where the bird was on land, of course, for obvious reasons. Just, yeah, you know that. Okay, so here we have the through-hole fitting, and I removed the old one that was here, and luckily it was the same size. I have already installed the new through-hole fitting that fits with the new Raymarine transducer, and now I'm just going to screw it in. That's the plan. And I'm just applying a little bit of silicone for to make sure that it will be absolutely watertight. Okay, so I'm sitting down here under the mattress, and here we have the through-hole fitting, and just about now I'm ready to put in the new transducer. Yes, so that's what we'll do. Here is the transducer, and it says that this part is supposed to be fitting forward. There's an arrow here saying forward, so towards the bow, sorry, so towards the bow. So I'm just fitting it down here like that, and then I'm screwing this one on, and it says in the manual for it to be finger tight, so that's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, right. It says to remember to put on this safety wire. and it's this one. And so here you can see it. Yeah. You have the arrow here, it's pointing forward as it's supposed to, and here you have the safety wire. Not this part, this part is not tied, but maybe you can, here you can see it. Here you have the safety wire, and it's yeah, it's in case this one should be knocked loose or anything, then it will make sure that it stays in place and that it will always be watertight. Okay, so now the only thing missing is a prolonger for this wire, so that it can be dragged all the way back to the chart table where I have all of my electricity. And then it will be connected to the Alpha system. And that means that I will be able to view the depth and the speed through the water and the temperature of the water on my Alpha displays in the cockpit. Great! Okay, so let's take a look behind the scenes. So I know it might look like one big piece of mess, but there actually is some kind of system here. So there's a cable running in the mast onto the floor ending here. And by this white cable, it is connected to the backbone system. In the Raymarine design, the backbone system is how you can send data that is communicated by numbers. So on my backbone system, I have my VHF radio, my AIS, my wind instruments, and my transducer. The chart plotter is connected to both the backbone system and the RayNet. The RayNet being cables that can send data that is communicated in graphic and in numbers. On my Alpha displays, I can see the depth in front of the boat. So that is information that is sent from the transducer on the backbone system to the chart plotter through the RayNet to my Alpha displays. The same goes for wind speed, GPS position, course over ground, all of this stuff sent by products on the backbone system through the chart plotter by the RayNet to the Alpha display. Makes sense? So basically all of the different instruments, they communicate with each other and the whole system is connected. Now everything is installed and I'm ready to go and test what these instruments can actually contribute with when I am sailing. So on a calm sunny day, I tried to explain how I use my Alpha display. So on the display, you have all different kinds of pages that you can use. And these are made from the factory, but you can also design your own one. And for example, I made this one myself. I started with an empty page and then you just point somewhere on the screen and you can add data. So for example, I want speed through water, it's this one. And I want it in numbers. There you go. Wow. And then you just put it wherever you want. And then you can design the exact page with the exact information that you prefer. So this is my perfect page. I still have a lot to learn about sailing, and especially in regards to my new boat. I'm using the information provided by the Alpha display to optimize the performance of the boat regardless if there is a lot of wind or very little wind.
The Alpha display is helpful because it's an easy visual show of the effects of my sail trimming, and I use that also to make it more comfortable to be on board my boat when sailing, especially in rough weather.
So, remember to reef in time. I'm really happy that I did that.
Wow, I am really making good speed here.
Woohoo!
This is a perfect example of Scandinavian autumn sailing.
So my new bird, Victory, she's a performance cruiser and she is truly demanding something of me when sailing.
I had squalls coming and going, bringing lots of strong winds, making sail trimming absolutely necessary.
She's doing good. Yeah, the bird, she's really doing good.
When the first squall hits, I reefed the mainsail to the first reef, and it stayed like that for the rest of the day. Whenever the wind was increasing or decreasing, I could manage by adjusting the tightening of the rigging or flattening the sails. A lot of people might call this annoying weather, and it was very challenging. But I also learned a lot today, although I must admit that I was fairly tired when I finally reached port.
Thank you for watching Sisi at Sea. Please remember to like, follow and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram. And if you like what you have seen, please share it with others. Until next time, fair winds and safe sailing.